Facebook thing or on my desktop, so I went back to the mobile. So if you, perhaps you are on the wrong one. If you, I'm gonna put this on. I posted at least on my socials here. I definitely wanna put this update that on the socials, let people know. Ooh, that didn't turn out quite right. Didn't turn out quite right. That happens. I need to get a better camera. My laptop, not a good camera. So I'm gonna talk rugby here. Yeah. What do we got? Six Nations. So Six Nations has been really cool. I've actually really enjoyed going live and watching the games. I did the first one on replay. Watched France solidly beat up on Ireland. Then we watched got to watch that Italy beat Scotland live, which was awesome. Awesome. Kind of been picking Italy for a while. But and then lastly did the England Wales one yesterday. So hopefully I keep getting better at it. I feel like I got like 1% better each time I did it. I am definitely not a professional broadcaster at this point. But so it goes. What else I got? So Six Nations. Again, I've said this on the streams before. Personally, I think France, England are the teams to beat. I think Italy's the dark horse. I think they can easily finish mid-table, maybe as high as three. Scotland, solid. Ireland, beat up. I mean, if I was going to handicap it, I would say bottom is probably Wales. Ooh, maybe Ireland, second from the bottom. The way they look, the way they're beat up, I think they'll find a way to win a match or two, but I do think they'll struggle. After that, I want to pick. I'm going to say Scotland because Italy beat them. So I think Scotland's going to finish fourth. I think Italy's going to finish third. And then France, England. I mean, I want to go with France winning it. I want to say that England's going to be second. I think both of the teams looked really good. But I think more than anything, it's just that I hate the English. I'm a natural anti-England sort of person. I'm joining the USCG. Cool. Nice. I'm talking rugby. So what is bro talking about? Rugby, my man. I'm talking about rugby. Rugby's the best. Six Nations rugby, and then a little American college rugby. I'm an American college rugby coach, just trying to spread the game I love, do it up. So yeah, Six Nations, said it already, but we got some of y'all joining. I streamed all the games, streamed commentary because I can't with the with copyright and such. They're on Peacock. But we've gotten that first game. I do hate England and no. England I don't hate the country. I just hate England's rugby team. That's all. That's a fair one to check on. No, I just always root against England. I do not hate England or the United Kingdom of Great Britain, but when it's rugby, nah, always got to root against England. No. Got a lot of friends from there, like to rib them and all. I think their game against France is going to be incredible. I think that's going to be a banger. The French call them the roast beef, old historic rivals and such. But, I think England and France are the two teams to beat in the Six Nations. And I'm back in France just because I always root against England. And I think those are clearly the two best teams, but so it goes. I'm an American college rugby coach. I did it full time for a little over a decade now, and then I've had a family, and so I kind of stepped back. I stopped coaching full time, moved back home to Wisconsin, focus on the family a little bit, spend some time with my baby, be closer to me and my wife's families, just trying to do what I do. So this channel is kind of me just trying to stay in touch with the game I love. I've mostly just been posting some silly shorts here. Got a camera and a mic in the mail, so I'm going to start adding a little bit more stuff that is actually instructional. It's going to be some drills, a little bit of analysis and stuff. But right now, I've just put a bunch of silly shorts out there that are silly mostly, kind of trying to pump up American rugby. I feel like American rugby, we got an opportunity to step up. We're allegedly hosting a World Cup in 2031 and 2033. And I think we have a tendency to look outward for all of our rugby perspectives. And I think we got to find a way to like be our own rugby nation, find our own style of play, find our own voice, find our hometown heroes. I think we got a handful of them, but I think we're always looking outward and we're trying to emulate other rugby nations rather than trying to innovate on our own. I think there's a lot of rugby nations out there like innovate on their own, and they do their like they bring a style to the game. When you see Fiji play sevens, Pacific Islands play a certain way, the Springboks play a certain way, England plays a certain way, the French play a certain way, Ireland the last 5-10 years, they've got a certain style of play. American rugby, I feel like we're always trying to copy somebody else. We need to like, what is it that we do well? We've got plenty of good athletes. I think we've got more good coaches than most people realize. I don't know. I at least found a way to make a living at it for over a decade and kind of stepped away for now intentionally. But we need to find our own way of playing, our own way of talking about the game. We'll get there. But back to the Six Nations. I really think if I were handicapping it and picking it, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say France wins it. They'll find a way to screw it up and lose a match somewhere that they shouldn't. Them against England's going to be a banger. I think England wins. That is number two. If France stumbles, if England can beat France in that head-to-head, I think they got it. England looked really, really good against Wales, who Wales is just, I feel for him. It was great to see Louis Rees-Zammit back out there. Dude showed some stuff with his feet, kind of both Ireland and Wales. They showed a lot of fight, but it was a way too little too late. They were getting smoked in the first half. They kind of stayed in it, kept fighting in the second half and all, but they didn't. It was too little too late. So if I had to pick it, I'm going to say France, England. I'm going to say Italy third, because they beat Scotland. I've always been a big Finn Russell fan. I love watching him play. I think Italy is actually pretty good at rugby right now. They've had all these young guys who are 23, 24, but they've been getting capped for 3-4 years. They got a bunch of young dudes. They had a really good U20 team a few years back, and the Italian Federation, they redid their regional system back when these guys were teenagers, and they brought a bunch of them up to the senior level early. And I think it's finally paying dividends. These dudes took their lumps for a couple of years in their early 20s, and now they're mid 20s, and they got a bunch of young guys with 30, 40, 50 caps. And I think they can actually win good, tough rugby matches like they did against Scotland this past weekend. So I'm going to go out on a limb there and say Italy third in the Six Nations, Scotland fourth, Ireland fifth, Wales. I feel for the Welsh, but they are just not good right now. So that goes. That's my prediction on how it's going to go. I really think, I thought the way Ireland played in that second half against the French, there was a lot there. If they could have gotten a score or two in the first half, I think they actually could have made that a match. But that Irish team is just beat to heck. So many good players on the bench, so many guys out with injuries. It's just not a full strength Ireland team. And I think they're still finding, the switch now that I think Prendergast has been doing a decent job at 10. But I think the guy's needs a couple years. I think he's not quite up to snuff defensively. That's been identified, I'd say, for the better part of a year. But I don't think you can sleep on Ireland, and I think they'll get back to being one of the better teams in the world. I just think they need a little seasoning, and they need to get some guys healthy. But other ones, man, France, that Mikel Guillard, I think was his name, the dude who was man of the match in that game against Ireland. Ooh, I remember saying it when I was watching the replay and streaming the commentary. Whoa, that dude is that's a big dude, and he just hit a lot of carries, constantly winning gain line, big dominant tackles, just a monster of a lock. Pretty young dude. I think they pulled him around the 50-minute mark, and he still managed to get man of the match, and that's saying something because it was a dominant win. I thought BLBRE, the winger, I thought he played really well. I think there was a couple performances in there. I'm trying to think who was Ramos at 15. I thought he played really well. I think a lot of guys played well, but they gave the man of the match to the young lock who was just absolutely dominant, a total force on the pitch for the first 50 minutes. I thought that was a good call. I feel like I kind of got that right during the stream itself. Oh, that dude's doing it. But then on to the next one that Italy match. I thought it was they gave the tight head prop for Italy, starting tight head prop man of the match, which is awesome. I'm a back. 9-10 mostly, played a little center, can play all over the place, kind of appreciate everything on a rugby pitch in all positions. And I feel like as a coach, I know what needs at this point, at least, maybe not early in my coaching career, but at this point, I know what needs to be done at all the positions and how to coach them. But you don't see many tight head props getting man of the match. I mean, Italy got a couple. They had the dominant set piece, both line out and scrum. They won a number of scrum penalties, especially in the first half. And that tight head just was absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. And you don't see that often. You'll see, oh, the backline player, oh, the loose forward or whoever, like the guy who made a bunch of tackles and was all over the pitch. They recognized big man, like what big men need to do, and big man doing his job just fantastically. And they gave that man of the match to the Italian tight head prop. I thought that was really, really cool. And then last in that, England Wales game, I'm trying to think. George Ford, man of the match, which was spot on. I mean, you had Arundel had a hat trick in the first half. I'm trying to think. There was another player in the back line who I thought really absolutely performed really well. It's not coming to me right now. I thought you'd think Arundel would get it with the hat trick, but I think they made the right call by giving George Ford that man of the match. I mean, he was everything England did in an attack went right through him. He made so many good decisions. Like there's a number of times, like under pressure, saved the space just right, made a quick transfer. Like George Ford actually was showing like significant attacking. I feel like the knock on him for a long, long time has been like, oh, he's a system guy. Oh, he's just going to kick and distribute and move the team around the pitch. But I thought it was interesting. Like George Ford, like he really seems like in the last year or so. I mean, I've always said I like exciting tens. I love Finn Russell. I really like Marcus Smith. He's so fun to watch. But to be fair, like George Ford's been the man for the last year. I think I think his game has matured even more, and he's showing like a lot more in attack. Like had I mean, he had a little chip kick for a try. One of those ones to Arundel. Dude is an attacking option. And I feel like if you look at George Ford like 4 or 5 years ago, the knock on him was just that like, no, he's not enough. Like he doesn't offer enough. There's not so much excitement going on with him. But I really thought like, oh man, there was so many of those of England's breakaways where like the timing on George Ford's pass, or just like he made the perfect decision at the perfect time. As usual, he kicked them all around the park, like really helped with the territory game. But I thought he offered so much in attack, and that's not something you see. So I thought that was a good pick for man of the match in that England-Wales game as well. But back to Louis Rees-Zammit, thought he was a bright spot for Wales. It's really good to see dude back on a rugby pitch. I mean, you just like he made 3-4 line breaks, a couple of them where he made broke multiple tackles, made multiple guys miss. Like he was away in the NFL, trying his hand in the NFL for a year or two there. And like it's good to see him back on the pitch. I mean, Wales need all the help they can get. I think they've got a lot of heart. Like I said, them and Ireland both. They showed fight in the second half. They kept trying to do positive things, but they just couldn't get a toehold in the match in the first half. They were way down. It was too much to be overcome. Like I would say with like Ireland against France, like if they'd have gotten a try in the first half, maybe a penalty, if they could have gotten 7 to 10 points in that first half, Ireland, the way they fought back and got some tries in that mid second half, like that could have actually been a very competitive game, and Ireland could have been right there in it. Wales wasn't going to be in that England game. But anyways, like you could have, like, if they could have gotten something in the first half. I mean, they had a couple of times where they had an opportunity, like they could have taken points. Maybe take the points, get something positive, get the scoreboard ticking over. I don't know. I'm generally, as a coach, oftentimes I'm going to say take the points. Take the points when they're on offer. Let the scoreboard do the work. And if anything, looking up and seeing that 0 over and over again, yeah, that's a tough one. Get 3, get 6, maybe all of a sudden, then now we've got a little confidence. We got a little positivity going in the game. All right, now that risk we take, we feel a little more confident with it. There was a couple that the last try of the half where they had a free kick at a scrum. They go quickly. They look out the back, and it just completely does not connect whatsoever. The inside center, he's going for Rees-Zammit coming out the back, just puts it way behind him. Ball's on the deck. 3 England players swoop in, pick it up. 1 pass to Arundel, another try, and it goes from bad to worse for Wales. I mean, they had a lot of cards as well, but like, get a point or two, get a penalty kick. Take the points at some point early in the game. Maybe you got the confidence and things click a little bit better. I'm a big believer that momentum is a thing in rugby. And when the momentum is all negative, oof, tough, 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 tough. Even if it's a little bit positive, yeah, you're down a couple tries, but hey, we got that 3, we got that 6, get a little territory. I just think even just the mindset of that, I think it helps teams. You're not in such a negative place. You're not playing completely from behind. Hey, we got points. There's something to build from if you get that scoreboard ticking at least a little bit earlier in the game. So be interested if anyone else had anything on Six Nations. I'm open to questions. The other thing with that Italy, I think that Italy win one conditions. Like conditions are big. I mean, that was absolutely. I mean, it rained and it rained and it rained in Rome, and Italy. Man, you talk about fight. Like that team just fought and fought and fought. They took their 2 opportunities early, got 2 tries early in the match, got the scoreboard ticking. So they played from the front the whole time. And then you just looked as that match went on, all the high kicks and everything. It was just sloppy, messy, 50-50 balls, like a lot of handling errors in the second half. And that's going to be expected anytime you're in conditions. When I coach, I tell my players, like, I mean, all forwards, you should have 2 sets of boots. If you're a tight fiver, you probably should be wearing the spikes unless it's a really hard pitch or it's like artificial turf. Most of the time, you should be in the spikes. But even backs, a couple times a year, you're going to play a game where it's going to be in a really wet condition. And even a speedy backline player, it's really useful to that couple times a year when that you're in a mud hole. Man, you really like to have those long studs in your bag. A lot of the time, dry pitch, good conditions, sure. Backline guys can have molded cleats. Maybe they feel a little better, quicker. It's nicer on the feet, whatever. But having that extra pair of boots where you can check down to the big spikes, to those big replaceable cleats, man, that helps. And I can't imagine that anybody was in their moldeds in that Scotland-Italy game. But yeah, the fight from Italy, whoo, again, that they're due, but that's a bunch of young dudes who are seasoned pros now, seasoned internationals. They're ready. Like they're ready to win games. My pick, it's a little, might be going out there, but I think they finished 3rd in the Six Nations. And I think by beating Scotland, that's kind of their competition for that those 2 mid-table positions. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to them. I mean, I think Ireland could definitely beat Italy. I don't. Unless Wales really puts it together and Italy really has a bad performance, I see Italy beating Wales pretty solidly. Going to be interesting. But also, I guess another thing with it, the set piece dominance. I thought that was a perfect illustration. Like Italy got the better of Ireland at set piece time. They got some scrum penalties. Their lineout functioned a little better. Like set pieces matter. That's winning ball. That's keeping ball. That's retention of possession. If you're set piece, and even it's just like accumulation of pressure. Even if maybe you don't steal the scrum against the head, like it's especially at that level, almost never happens. I think it did happen once in that game, but it's accumulated pressure. When your scrum is going forward, you feel good. You're positive, kind of like that, getting the scoreboard moving early in the game. It's something you can build from, and vice versa. That negative pressure, that going backwards, that like we're having to lock our feet out and stick our boots in the dirt and go from there. That also, I would say that's negative momentum. That's like that wears on you. It's like, oh, we're going backwards every scrum. Oh, we got penalized again. Oh, I dove and I got dirt in my face. Like, oh, dude's crushing me across from me. That pressure accumulates. Pressure can turn into points sooner or later. And I thought Italy did a great job of that. Only a 3-point game, 18-15 was the final, but like I thought the Italians did a lot right. And you could just see at the end, I mean, the last possession, Scotland went from their own 5 to like they got close to the Italian 22. There's 2 penalties in there that Scotland kicked for territory, retained the ball play. It was over 30 phases, I believe. And the Italians just defended and defended and defended and defended. Did not give up another penalty once Scotland got into the kickable territory. It was a really impressive fight from the Italians. And I think set piece dominance, they got the early points, so they were playing with momentum and playing from the front. I think that was all really helpful and positive from them. So I guess now I'm going to talk a little bit of American college rugby. I'm going to stay on here for about another 5-10 more minutes, maybe, unless I get a real good question that gets me going. I'm just learning right now. This is not professional by any means. I am up in a guest bedroom with my Midwest Barbos sweatshirt hanging here. So with the commentary, with all this, I'm just trying to learn right now, get a bit more experience. I've got a lot of experience as a player. I've got a ton of experience as a coach. I've won some national championships. I've sent a bunch of players on to be professional rugby players. But when it comes to creating content on the internet, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I feel stupid most of the time. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see, because I love rugby, and I know that if I do it and I do it and I do it, I'll get a little bit better. And if nothing else, I'll probably learn something at some point, and hopefully it'll be a worthwhile experience. At least lets me stay connected to the game I love. But college rugby in America, interesting one, very interesting one. Um, College rugby, I think, is the best place we have to develop our young talent. I think it's done really well in pockets. I think now having all these varsity programs in American college rugby, huge benefit. Daily training environment, that's how you get better. Players playing, training at a high level every day, focusing on their strength and conditioning, having good coaching, playing with good teammates, playing a lot of good matches. It's going to make them better, without a doubt. That said, I still think it's isolated. I still think we need to find a way to get more density of talent and bring those really talented college players together for longer periods of time and work together. So that's the All-Stars. Like I said, Midwest Barbos, great experience. Interesting thing about this comp here. So this was NCR All-Stars. We were down in Atlanta about a month ago, just under a month ago, 3.5 weeks ago. All right. It's been won most of the years by the New England Independents. New England, that is essentially the Free Jacks Academy. That's a Boston area. They've got a density of talent there. They got a lot of talented college rugby players. They got a lot of good college programs in an area. Through the Free Jacks Academy, those teams, those players, the best players from those varsity teams get to come together. They get to train with the Free Jacks Academy. They're familiar with each other. They know how each other plays. They're a cohesive team. Us in the Midwest, we were able to bring guys together for a tryout, a few days of training beforehand. There's a few Zoom calls in between. We're not able to season them quite so much. Now, this year, we knew we were down a little bit. We finished on the lower side of the competition. That was okay. We knew we were less talented than we've been in years past. Few things were working against us. That said, the previous 2 years, we made the final. And both of those years, we lost to the Midwest Barbos right there. We're red. We lost to the New England Independents red. Ultimately, in those finals, what that came down to clearly was they were a more cohesive team because they're able to play together more often. Those playing groups, even though they might be from a variety of different colleges, those guys play together all the dang time with that New England Independence team and in the Free Jacks Academy. And consequently, especially as the tournament goes on, once you get to a pressure situation in a final, those guys are going to be able to execute. They had a way better lineout than us. They beat us on defensive pressure 2 years ago. They beat us on defensive pressure and a better line out. Simple stuff, team stuff. Rugby is a bunch of simple things done really well consistently. If you can't win your own set piece, it's going to be a struggle. Just back to that Six Nations. Italy, dominant set piece in a lot of ways, gives them the margin of victory to win the game itself. So other things in American college rugby. So my most recent job I had was at Iowa Central Community College. It's a 2-year public community college and tech school. So like over half of our guys doing trades. All right. So they're playing D1 college rugby, doing 1 and 2 year trades programs. So that's welding, that's electrical, that's HVAC, a whole variety of small, short trade programs. They get in. It's a public school, so it's inexpensive. They play really good rugby. They get out, they move on, they have a better life. It's really a special place. I enjoyed it so much, had so much fun at Iowa Central, really miss the place a lot. But if you're an American college or high school rugby player out there and you're not sure what you're doing, consider checking it out. Coach Nelson there, man, he'll make you a better man. That's what he does. They just started a women's program there as well at Iowa Central. Consider it, okay? It's one of the cheapest options anyone has for your schooling. You can get your first 2 years done, and then you can go to a 4-year school, or if you just want to do a trade, if welding, 1-year program. You can go there, get a welding certificate, play D1 rugby for a year, move on, go be a welder, make a great living. But I can't say enough good things about the place. And you're playing D1 college rugby. Now, the flip side of that, and this was a challenge I saw as a coach, is we were consistently young and a bit immature. So at a community college, my veteran players, my leaders on the team are in some cases only 19 years old, sometimes 20. Usually we'd only have a couple guys on the team who were 21. All right. We're leaning on second and the occasional third year players to be our like veteran experienced leaders. We're playing against 4-year schools who their veteran experienced leaders are fourth and fifth year players. The difference between a 19, 18, 19, 20 year old and a 21, 22, 23-year old is pretty massive, both from a physical maturity, from a maturity of their rugby game, and from a mental maturity state. So that was a thing that we saw as a challenge at Iowa Central, and it was a little frustrating for me to coach, but I think it was a great growth experience because what I had to do was try and get these kids to grow up as quickly as possible, try and get them as many reps under pressure so that we could get them to react really well in a pressure situation in a game. Now, we were about 500 on the 15 side of things. We had some really good runs in sevens. We were one of the best sevens teams in the country last year. We kind of crapped it at the end. We didn't do as well at the CRC, the final tournament of the year. We ended up finishing sixth. We lost in a quarterfinal to a St. Bonaventure team that was really good. We'd beaten Wheeling, who ended up was two-time national champs. Now we beat them a month previous. And I just think that we kind of shot it all right there. Didn't come in sharp. I think guys let the moment being in a stadium get to them. That's a big thing. If you're a young rugby player, like don't show up and have to and be ready to play in a stadium and have it be your first time. Like get the mental reps. Spend the month before. If you know you've got a tournament where you're going to play in a stadium, or this is going to be like the biggest stage you've ever played on, spend the month before, like a few minutes every day, like getting the mental reps. Walk in, like close your eyes. I'm walking in the stadium. Okay, there's thousands of people here. I hear the roar of the crowd. I hear this. Okay, here's me doing this really simple little skill under pressure in front of all those people. I've seen it repeatedly. And after the first couple times, both for me personally and for teams I've coached, where you saw guys get the deer in the headlights when the first time they played in the stadium. And, I talked to my players after. We were in Vegas about 10 years ago with Lindenwood Belleville. We make the final. So it's USA Sevens. We're in the final against Kutztown. And to be fair, they were a better team. They had DeMonte Noble, who was ended up being a Sevens Eagle and such. But we weren't as bad. They whooped us like 40-7 or something. They weren't that much better than us, but they were a mature team that was ready for that, like that level, or for that, not even that level. It wasn't about the level. It was about like that moment and being in that stadium with 10, 20,000 people around you. And I talked to my kids after, and they're like, "Oh yeah, coach, I never played in something like that. I was a little bit, oh wow, that like freaked me out a little bit." And I realized I was like, I got to get these kids mental reps. And every time going forward from that point, it was like, before we ever walk into a stadium and we play a big game where there's a real crowd and there's music playing, and it's like, I don't want you, it might happen. Okay. Moments get a hold of people, but we're going to talk about getting those mental reps. I'm going to try and get you some of those mental reps in training in the lead up to it. So even if you haven't been there physically, up here, yes, 15, 20, 30 times went through it. Like, oh yes, here's the stadium. Okay, here's me catching the ball, moving the ball. Here's me making that kick in that stadium with all those people watching. Get mental reps. Mental reps will make you ready to step into that moment physically when you've been there. Myself, I played in some really big stadiums, some really big moments. Now, honestly, a lot of my biggest rugby I played was in Asia, Thailand, Laos, a lot of big tournaments over there in big stadiums. National Stadium of Laos, which is saying it ain't that big, it ain't Vegas Sevens, but it's legit. And having the first time I was there, it was a little bit crazy. Like, there's probably over 1,000 people there. It was like a little bit like, I definitely remember the first time Bangkok Tens. I remember just blowing it in a final, in a big match at Bangkok Tens against a team that was full of ex-professionals. It wasn't that I wasn't ready to do that. I was good enough to play there, but like, I got a little tight because of the moment. If I'd have had the mental reps ahead of time, I might have been more ready to execute. I can remember it very distinctly. We're sticking right there with this team that's full of ex-professionals. They're supposed to be the favorites. The crowd's going wild, big full crowd and everything. Keep noticing they don't have anybody scraping behind. Like, there's no, like, the chip kick is so wide open on, and I'm playing like a outside center sort of position right now. And I tell my guy at the last one, like, hey, chip kick, like, you got this. Cuzzy Brett, Kiwi dude. I told him, I was like, hey, he puts it through. It doesn't quite bounce right. It's kind of just rolling on the ground. And instead of being able to, which I know I could just run right up and on a full run, just scoop it and go, put it down for the try. And instead, what I do is I slow way down. I pick it up. I let the defense catch up. They tackle me. Don't score the try before half. We end up losing by a little bit. If I'd have been ready for that moment mentally, like maybe I'd have had the confidence to just pick that thing at a full run like I know I could do and I'd done a million times. Maybe then we score the try before halftime. Maybe then we win that game. But so it goes. Get mental reps. If you're a rugby player out there, get the mental reps before the big moment happens. Like play it through in your head a bunch. You'll probably be a lot more ready when that moment actually comes to you. So anything else I got for today? No, Vail Rugby. Vail, Colorado. Really cool place to spend the summer. Going out there for the third summer this year. We do it right. We bring in a bunch of college kids. We bring in about 20 college kids and they got a bunch of local dudes who are awesome as well. Make a rugby team for the summer. Bringing some ladies out for the first time. So if you know any college women's rugby players, want to play some really good sevens this year. On the men's side, we focus on 15s, but we're going to be doing ladies sevens team this summer. There's a good group of local, both men and women, but there's not enough to make like a full squad. So what Vail has always done is they bring in college men for the summer, and then we combine those with the local dudes. And then we have a really, really good 15s team. So on the women's side, there's 7, 8, 10 women's players around. It's a little inconsistent with availability, but we can't get 15 on the pitch. This year, talking about bringing eight college women's players out as well, and really going for it on the sevens side of things. So that's all I got. I'm probably going to do these again. I feel like Monday might be the time. I felt like, I'd done commentary a little bit. If you watch this, appreciate you. American rugby, we're good enough. We're smart enough. And doggone it, if people don't like us, to heck with them. Let's be American rugby. Let's do our thing. Let's back ourselves. All right, we got the players. We got the coaches. Let's find our own identity. Do rugby American ways. All right. Thanks, y'all. Have a great night. Go rugby. Go America. Love y'all. How does this thing work? I'm learning. Take care.